Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will learn about Power Automate Cloudflow best practices. So please watch this video till then so that you can understand it completely. And if you have not subscribed my YouTube channel yet, please subscribe it. So let's get started. First, best practices, naming conventions. You should use meaningful naming conventions and make sure that you consider admins and users. Second, you need to rename each action, such as renaming the list rows action to list account contacts instead. And then you need to use comments on actions to document the purpose of that action. And you must use child flows to prevent overly complex flows or repeated logic. Naming convention is very important when you are creating flow in Power Automate, because after the flow has been developed and if somebody is going to monitor that flow, right, so they should be able to understand the purpose of that action and what is expected out of that action. And you should also use comments to make sure that its purpose is very clearly defined. And if your flow is getting very big, in that case you should create child flows and call it from the parent flows so that there is segregation properly. Another one is parent and child flows. Using child flows allow you to separate parts of a flow into reusable child flows. To create a child flow, you must create the flow in a solution and then use the database trigger. The child flow can use the following triggers, which is manually triggered button, power apps, or HTTP request. The parent flow must also be in a solution, and then it can use the run a child flow action. The child flow can pass the data back to the parent flow with the power apps or HTTP response as shown in the following image. So here you can see that this is a parent flow, and here you can see that this is a child flow. And what it is doing is it is respond to a power apps or flow action it is using and sending the data back to the parent flow, right? So if your flow is getting very big, in that case you can segregate your flow and you can use run a child flow action to call a child flow to perform the remaining task. Next one is you can use service principle. When running flows, you need to understand the user context that the flow runs in. For an automated or a scheduled flow, the flow will run as the owner of the flow and the existing connections in the flow are used. An owner can edit and change the connection that are used. For instant flows, the owner can define that the flow runs as the owner or will run as the user and require the user to create connections by using their own credentials. By default, when you add an action and sign into a connector, it uses the current interactive user's credential and will therefore run in that user's context. Alternatively, you can sign in with the service principle by using an app user that was created in Azure AD. This approach allows actions to be implemented by using a DataWorks app user context, right? So it is advised that you can use a service account credential so that it is not dependent on a specific user and it will be able to perform the actions as and when required, even if you are moving the application or the flow from one environment to another environment. So there are certain API limits which you need to keep in mind. The platform has API limits and service protection limits. Power Automate observes these limits. Each step in a flow consumes an API call, right? So whatever action you are going to use, it consumes your API call. Limits are also applied for certain actions in Power Automate and for Power Automate Desktop. Many operations like apply for each loop only work up to 1 lakh iterations. You might be required to partition work when working with large sets of items, right? So you need to keep that in mind that if your automation has more than 1 lakh iterations, in that case you are required to partition your work so that you can manage this limit. The do until loop has a default of 60 loops or 1 hour of runtime. If it exceeds these limits, it exits the loop without error. So now this limit you have to keep in mind, because if it fails, you will not get to know about the error. So you can increase the number of loops and time in the setting for the action. So if you want to increase this limit, You can click on settings and increase this number. Flows can run for a maximum of 30 days. You should not use long running flows. Use scheduled flows that check if the row needs to be processed instead. So a flow can run for a maximum of 30 days and you should avoid a long running flows. Next one is that connectors have throttling limits. For instance, the DataTable connector permits only 6,000 API calls for each connection every 300 seconds. Other best practices is that you need to do the error handling. You can use configure run after property in the setting to handle the errors. Notifications, you need to set up some notifications for failed runs to promptly address the issue. You can have the data loss prevention policy in place. You can implement the DLP policies to secure the data. Pagination and batching, use pagination and batching for handling large data sets effectively. So if your data set is very large, in that case you should use the batching and pagination. Documentation and maintenance, you need to add the comments within your flows to explain the logic and action, so that if somebody else takes a look at your flow, they should be able to understand the purpose of that action. Version control, maintain version control to track the changes and revert it if needed. So you need to maintain the version of your flow so that if something goes wrong, you can revert it to the older version of that flow. There are certain security best practices which you keep in mind. For example, permissions, you ensure that only authorized users can access and modify the flows. Secure connections, use secure connections and regularly review them so that there is no security issue. So this is all about the best practices that you need to follow in Power Automate. If you like this video, please click on the like button and please subscribe my YouTube channel. And if you have any question, please post it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.